Men didn't have standards until women told them y'all should have standards. Men were pretty much comfortable with just banging anything that had a vagina. Men didn't ask for equality. Men didn't ask for 50-50. Men didn't endorse hookup culture. Men didn't ask to be bad boys or F-boys in order to attract women. Women influenced men into it by setting those standards.
Here's a lesson from the animal kingdom. Do you know why peacocks had such beautiful tails? Because peahens preferred them. Way back when, enough peahens mated with enough peacocks with pretty tails that that's all that exists today. The guys with the ugly tails, they fell out of evolution's chain. In the same way, human females shape the bodies and behaviors of human males. Think of it this way. When women wanted protection, we chose men with muscles. As a result, almost all men have bigger body size than females. And in the same way, we chose men with money. And as a result, men learned to hoard money so that we would mate with them. We call that patriarchy. So if you're choosing to reward men with sex who behave like this instead of like this, you're creating a generation of men who behave like this. Female choice leads the species.
Well, Dr. Wendy Welsher said a mouthful right there. She made 2 points that need to be highlighted.
What this means is women set the dating standards that influence how men approach the dating scene, let alone our behavior towards it. Like Dr. Wendy said, when women wanted men to have bigger bodies, men grew in size. They would grow big bellies. In some parts of the world, a big belly is a sign of wealth. Or guys would go to gym and go muscular, which to women, that's a sign of strength. That's a sign of protection. Then women wanted stability and assurance. And that's when men started working to become providers. Then women wanted gentlemen. Then men became gentlemen. But it was not enough for women.
Do you think men are raised to be gentlemen?
I think they are, yeah.
Okay. Do you think men are also raised to be protectors and providers for women?
Yes.
Do you think that some men go as far as putting women up on a pedestal?
Yeah.
If all of those are true, why do you think that there are so many women who are angry at men? Aren't those all good qualities?
Because men suck.
How do they suck if they do all those good things that we just talked about?
Because they don't do enough.
So, how picky is too picky?
It depends.
Soon thereafter, feminism thought that chivalry was unnecessary. So now we ask ourselves the question, so did women kill chivalry?
Short answer, yes. Long answer, also yes. I think this stems from one of the aftershocks of the Me Too movement, that men are afraid of doing anything or saying anything out of the ordinary, because at any point in time, women can be like, hey, I don't like that, and try to manipulate the situation to the point where men get in trouble. So over the years, we started doing less and less for women, and now women are complaining about the fact that we aren't even giving the bare minimum when we were giving our maximum, but y'all just kind of degraded it to the point where it is today.
It didn't just stop there. And then women wanted equality. Then men gave women equality. This became a game changer. Reason being, most women are not really for equality, let alone going 50-50 with a guy. However, most modern men are for it because it works to our advantage. As a result, modern women tend to want modern men to act traditional.
Do you think that it's true that women tend to want equality when it's convenient, when it suits them, but they're happy to revert to traditional roles when it doesn't?
I actually agree with that, low-key. Yeah, no, it depends on the woman, absolutely, but absolutely, but most, yeah, I can see that,
Right. Do you think that kind of discredits, or some of the movement behind the equality, because it's not really equal? That's kind of like double standards. It's kind of like having your cake and eating it too, right?
Yeah.
But the women have set the standard, the men have lived up to it, and there's no way men are going to go back to being traditional men after all that changing. Being traditional is an old way of thinking. If women continue to reward men with sex for acting like F-boys instead of father figures, then they're going to be creating a generation of men that act like F-boys, because women generally respond better to F-boys as opposed to good men.
A lot of women in this generation don't like gentlemen. They don't like nice guys.
Wow. Okay. So what do you think they're like, okay, do you think that women tend to lust after bad boys but want to settle down with nice guys?
Correct.
Interesting. Okay.
100% correct.
Okay.
And they'll get the nice guy, they'll get the good guy that'll do everything for them, but they still got that itch.
Right.
Look, we all know that
Men sleep with who they can, and women sleep with who they want.
women hold mating rights and to who gets born. So meaning men will chase women to consummate, all just to extend a bloodline. Plus now we're at a time where women empowerment is at an all-time high. Women are putting in that work. Women are securing that bag. Women are going to school. And kudos to y'all women for working hard. Keep pushing that work. We see you, boo. We see you. And women are more sexually liberated in this time than any other time. But for every action, there's a reaction. What's happening now is a lot of women are using their sexuality to empower themselves. As a result, more women are becoming hypersexualized. Go through Twitter, go through Instagram. Don't even get me started on TikTok. Women are bold and no longer modest in how they portray themselves on social media or in public. On which, ladies, you have every right to do whatever you feel makes you happy and whatever you're comfortable with. For men, it works to our advantage and we love it. Reason being is there's nothing left to their imagination anymore. It takes men a couple of megabytes of their data just to know how some of y'all ladies look without your clothes on. So what used to be a luxury to us is now free for all to view. So cause and effect is women's sexual liberation is now men's hypersexualization. Meaning women being hypersexual is creating a generation of men that are just overly hypersexual. And that's why you would find in this generation, men don't see the need to commit or get married or be loyal. Why is that? Women deemed it so. Remember, women sleep with whoever they want and men sleep with whoever they can.
The answer is called broken sexual selection. If a man does it, it doesn't apply to us. The reason being is that women hold sexual rights over the environment. In every species on this planet, they decide who, where, how many partners, and what they want to do, and men aren't obligated to expect sex in any capacity. However, that's why we're not hoes. If we sleep with more people, it's not a sign of deficiency in us, it's a sign of broken sexual selection in women. That makes it your fault. If you do not have the power of sexual selection, then you are somehow being coerced in that. That's called rape. So, yes, that is why women are treated as such and judged as such if they have multiple sexual partners, and men are in fact not, because we don't have any control over that. We sleep with who we're allowed to, and you sleep with who you want to. There's a difference. Take care.
And at this point, coitus is so easy for men to get, all because women don't make it hard for us anymore. Hence, there's side chicks, side dudes. Hence, you would find guys with girls on rotation and they open about it. That is now the new norm. So women have set that standard up because they feel that if men can do it, so can they. And that's the reason why guys are actually like for it and pushing that whole narrative that you'll want that, yeah, you'll want to act like us, continue being like us. But just don't be surprised at the outcome of your own actions. And that's also the main reason why guys are milking that situation for what it's worth. It's so weird to me how women in this era prefer being baby mamas as opposed to being wives.
Throughout history, women always controlled the pace of the sexual relationship. When and how far and how much allowed them to have an assessment period so they could determine if a guy was going to be a good partner who was going to be around for a while and help raise any offspring that might come from that nest. But now we have this time where more women are getting educated and making more money than their peer men, and as a result, men are starting to call the shots. And male sexuality is very different than female.
The ugly truth is women set the pace in which men move. Because men will do what they need to do in order to attract women. Women would say exactly what they want. Then men would execute in a sense that it works to their advantage.
So here's the thing about peacocks. Enough peahens preferred the beautiful tails in the past that now all the peacocks grew those tails in order to mate and impress the females. But here's the problem. It's as big as their body weight. It takes so many calories to maintain, and it makes them really vulnerable to predators. But men will change if it means they can get a female.
Same way, women told men to grow some standards and stop messing with basic itches. And men listened. The older generation of men didn't mind being busy with basic itches because women are generally born with value and men have to create their value. So back then, having standards was for rich men, which was a broke man's dream. But fast forward to this day and age, even the average Joe has higher standards. They're more fussy and more picky, all because women told them grow some standards. So it goes back to that thing how women have no problem, absolutely no problem telling men, I want a man that's 6 foot tall, that's got a six pack, that makes 6 figures. But as soon as men have the audacity to tell a woman, yo, I want a woman dress size 6, foot size less than 6, weighing in at under 60 kilograms. And then women somehow think you're asking for too much. You cannot demand stuff out of people, then when people start demanding stuff out of you, then it becomes a problem. The only truth is, men didn't have standards until women told them, y'all should have standards. Men were pretty much comfortable with just banging anything that had a vagina. Men didn't ask for equality. Men didn't ask for 50-50. Men didn't endorse hookup culture. Men didn't ask to be bad boys or F-boys in order to attract women. Women influenced men into it by setting those standards for us. And men will always allow women to influence them because men just want vagina. So much so that even big businesses understand that whole theory that men will chase women for that. Hence,
does the fact that ladies' nights exist prove that if you control the women, you also control the men?
Perfect question, bro. Like, the advertisement. If you control the women, did you hear what he said? If you control the women, you control the men, and you control the money. So to me, it's almost like they're using women as pawns to bring the men out, and men will spend anything for these women. Think about it. Think about it. Everything that we do, it involves a woman. Anytime that guy is talking about money or eating or even things like this, people who go to jail, mostly, I'm gonna put it like this, 60% of men are in jail because of women. And it's not their fault. It's just manhood. I don't know what it is, women, but whatever you got, you better, y'all better cherish it, because I'm not gonna lie, it's powerful.
the men will follow the women because men needs validation from women just as much women need validation from men. Hence, there's such an influx of F-boys currently, all in the name of attracting women. But that's just how I think. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Just don't forget to strap up. Oh, now it makes sense why every time I was being a good boyfriend, my relationships never lasted. But every time I was a full-time bad boy, these women would stay. And they would stick around long. Even how trashy I would treat them. Makes sense, makes sense. Simping ain't pimping.